Hello and welcome back.
Woohoo!
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Hootenanny. Most people won't know what that is, I don't think.
No.
Is that a thing? Or is that just made up by Jules Holland?
I think it is. I don't know. Who knows what the Scots do? It is a Scottish thing, isn't it?
Probably. I don't
Yeah.
know. So we're going to do a review of an album. It is this album. It is Magma. It is part of the special episode 200 stuff because Magma are special. Üdü വശ്üdü or Üdü Wiedu. Lots of umlauts and an accent as well, which you can't actually see on there. Oh, there isn't on here. That's just another umlaut. Just have loads of umlauts and you'll be fine. We are doing a bit of a strange sequence with Magma. I think it would already be controversial for people that we're going straight onto Üdü Wiedu from Mechanic Destructu, because this is after the main sequence, really. The main sequence has probably just ended with Magma Live, arguably, so controversial, like with Yes, we did from the Yes album to Going for the One.
Oh, bloody hell, millions of albums.
That's the main sequence, isn't it? It's the obvious ones to do. So this isn't. But we need to do a journey. The problem is if we did all the classic Magma, classic era, this is amazing next week. Yes, this is amazing. 6 eggs. We've got to show a journey. It's supposed to be. That's the point of doing multiple albums of a band, isn't it? And this was my first Magma album.
Ooh.
I was about 19, I think. It was the maybe a bit older than that, maybe 21 or 22. Time of, I think that's a normal age actually for musical exploration. So it's not part of the stuff I grew up with. I'll always like Black Sabbath and Deep Purple, really because I discovered them so early on, and King Crimson was somewhere in between. So King Crimson were my favourite band, that was when I discovered Nursery with the Wound and Universe Zero and Can and all that stuff. I was finding the most proggiest of all, and here it is. But I realised I've not listened to this. I was going to say 10 years. It might be 15. A long time, because if I think I'm going to put Magma on, I'm not going to put on the one I know really, really well. I want to listen to, what about this one? And the default one is Mechanic Destructive, obviously, It's a bit of a disappointment, I think. Apparently, in the history of the band, it's not an easy time. It's a time of upheaval with people leaving and coming back and stuff. And obviously the 76, we don't really know how successful they were at that time. Maybe they were still hugely successful, maybe not. I don't really know. Certainly where Zappa was having many problems, endless grief. It's much lighter than Mechanic Destructive. So I suppose what we're going to talk about, is it a good place to start? Or is there any point in that? Might as well you start with the full on, but new styles are introduced, they've brought in some different musical styles. But it is like a cool program album from the 70s. Let's listen to a bit of this band. What was this band like? That's the kind of thing you get, rather than mind-blowing, oh my God, what is this? Some cool heavy bass and all that stuff, yeah.
Oh, right. It's up to me, is it? Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Mechanic Destructive was there was a journey throughout the album.
Yeah.
And you listen to it from the beginning to the end, and that's what you do. And there's a sort of thing. That's what's disappointing about this, I think. The journey is...
There isn't really.
No.
It's just some songs. Yeah.
And it starts... You say, more musical styles. Like it feels more jazzier to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christian Vander, that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
He comes from a jazz background, so you would expect jazz to be in there.
You listen to the first album, you think, well, if you hadn't heard of Magma and you put on the first album, you think, well, that's jazz, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas Mechanic Destructive was definitely
something else.
It was something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we said rock, but it's a very unique form of rock.
Yeah.
Which was just all out cool.
Yeah.
And you're right. This is disappointing. After listening to Mechanic, maybe we've started at the high point. That's
yes, we have. Yes.
Yeah. We're doing a Mr. Bungle type thing here. We start with Mr. Bungle. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then it's just next album. Wow. But and then the next one.
Yeah.
It would, yeah. We should have started with this.
Yeah. It's very. I mean, things like this are great if you've got if you've got a really expensive sound system, and you want to see how good it is, because the bass is really in there, but it's quite hard to pick out, and you're not going to pick it out on a pair of crappy speakers, sort of thing.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you like the bass bit, this.
There's good bass in here.
What's his name? I can't remember. That's terrible. I can't remember the name of the bass player. But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on Mechanic Destructive. I think he's a bit later. But yeah, he's man.
Yeah.
That's the best bit about the album. Yeah, and it's funny, really. The drumming is not the best bit about the album.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. Well, that's what we want, isn't it? Awesome drumming and stuff, and it's not really there. And you've got names like Zombies / Ghost Dance.
That's not in Zeal, is it?
No.
Come on.
What's going on? Üdü ዄüdü itself, I mean, Umlaut's on there.
Yeah, all the lyrics are in Kabayan, I believe.
Are they?
Yeah. Well, we've said this, haven't we? That terrible lyrics can ruin an album. So it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Not because you can't write lyrics, but because poetry is a whole different thing that's got to be attached to the music and change the music. Without that, it's just the emotion, and it's not just. If you use real words, it's just random bollocks. Like, yes, and you can be okay with that, but at the end of the day, there is a problem with that. With I don't want to say roundabout, but roundabout. I can't say revealing science of God, because that is technically about something.
What is something about a roundabout? I think there's something quite appealing about having a sort of made-up language.
That's so cool.
It is, because it does focus the music all about getting the emotion. It's like a symphony, like classical music. There's no words, but there is an emotional journey there in the notes and in the music and in the playing, and that's what that's what Magma are aiming for. Yeah,
and the vocals are an instrument playing music.
Yeah,
not telling you that my dog has died.
Yeah. But when you take the journey away,
and the Futura,
well, you're expecting that to be an awesome epic, aren't you?
Yeah, it's 17 and a half minutes, so it's not epic, but it is an epic. Expectation can spoil that. And it is ace, but it's ace. It's that stuff. I think it's just the trio. It's just three of them. So that's fantastic. That's awesome. But think of it like that. Think of it like the 71, 72 King Crimson. That's what I've been listening to. So rather than an epic journey, there's not really a journey. It just gets faster at the end and then it stops. So it is brilliant, but it's not. It's not quite what you would hope. Having gone through that album, you want but this is the epic now. Yeah. This is going to be the one, and it isn't really.
It's interesting because it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's got that Magma thing that makes Magma so special.
Magma Light.
Yeah, it is.
It is Magma Light. It's the sellout album almost. Well, the title track.
It's the Magma can't be bothered.
The title track could be a single. That could have been they could have maybe they did. But they should have done in France. Maybe I don't know. That could have been a single.
All this crazy stuff is great, but we need to make some money.
But yeah, you have to move forward and you have to change. Mechanic Destructive is the one we did. All that stuff is awesome. From Mechanic Destructive to Magma Live, that is the peak of the band. All that stuff is fantastic. So it's got to change, and they are changing. But it does mean now you can identify it as genres, which you couldn't before. But yeah, I mean, Üdü Wiedu, it's like a Latin thing going on. That's pretty cool. Maybe not a world. Later on, there's a bit of world music, I think, as well. Maybe not in Üdü Wiedu. I don't know what you would call it, but apparently. First time synthesizers appeared on a Magma album. And you think, huh? And you think, oh yeah. Oh my God. Wow. That's right. There's no synthesizers on Mechanic Destructive. It's too good for my synthesizers. Some of it's written by different people, and that's really telling. And when you know which songs are written by different people, and you put it back on again, you think, Weidorje, I don't know. It's written by different people, and it's 4 minutes 29. So it's got the chanting Magma thing going on, but it doesn't. It's weird how Mechanic Destructive goes somewhere. It doesn't go, and it just carries on for 4 minutes and just fades away. And you think, oh. And of course, it's not written by Christian Vander, interestingly. But I think the guy that wrote that, or one of the guys that wrote that, left the band and formed another The Earl band, one of the other The Earl bands. So yeah, I think Zombies as well is written by someone else. The best bit of the album is the middle. Isn't that strange?
That is strange.
I think that's the bit that's the most like Magma. So it's cheating, really. But there is, with track 3, Tröller Tanz, Ghost Dance, is probably the best thing on there. But you've got to get through a vocals thing. But then again, the best Magma, you do have to get through a vocals thing. There's a bit of stuff going on, which I couldn't do. So yeah, if you like the bass thing, there is lots to like on this album. But if you're going to go, you want the best Magma. This is not the best Magma. This is an also ran album. It's one of the other albums. From it's that other one they did. Another cool cover, very cool. A few different versions of the cover, I think. So the question is it a good place to start? That's a very difficult question to answer because obviously Magma is not easy stuff. So should you start with an easy one? But then again, should you start with 90125 with Yes? It's just pointless, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it a waste of time? Well, you might as well just listen to something else. Maybe.
Because you might actually like 90125, so then you think, I'll listen to some more Yes albums.
You read up and you think, but the Topographic Oceans, this is my favourite album. Oh, it's their favourite album, better get it.
Oh.
It'll be lots of catchy songs like Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Congratulations, you've just bought 2 coasters.
Dawn of Light, something.
Actually, does Tales of Topographic come on 2 CDs?
Still, yeah. It's 80 minutes, so to squeeze it on. I think you could squeeze the original release on there, but once they got to the point of being able to do that, they got the slightly longer revealing, actually, anyway, so they couldn't fit it on. I saw we've got an HMV in Redditch again, did you know?
Yeah, I saw it.
I think it was where Ann Summers was.
I'm always in Ann Summers.
Yeah. I saw Topographic Drama and Tales of Topographic Oceans live. I thought it was an archival release. I thought, fantastic. Because the live Topographic has never been released. I think the sound isn't that good on the recordings. That's what it is. But I would like to hear it. Even it's the one with the stories about the Currys and Rick Wakeman getting the solo wrong and all that. I want to hear it. I've heard the drama stuff from a bootleg intro, but it's a new one. It's one of these tours they've been doing where they've been touring whole albums. Mm-hmm. They didn't play the whole of Topographic. It's not some of it.
Did they play anything else?
They did the whole of Drama and the whole of which is the Buggles band,
right?
And the whole and some of Tales from Topographic Oceans, and then Roundabout. And so they didn't actually do it because they've also done tours when they've done the Yes album and Fragile and etc. Obviously, which is much more sensible. But I noticed, this is the point I wanted to make, there's a second drummer. Now, I've been away from Yes World, but it's a bit worrying because if you watch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame debacle, which is actually pretty cool. They play the original, not the original band, but the band with Alan White play Roundabout with Geddy Lee on bass. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Because obviously they're in 2 bands at the moment. But I tell you what, Alan White does not look right. He does not look well. I was really alarmed. I haven't read anything, so I don't know the details. But I was really alarmed. It's interesting how Bill Bruford was there. He didn't play anything, obviously, because he's retired. But he just looks the same. It's just Bill Bruford, you know. But Alan White looks in terrible state, and that's from touring, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
drummers
from
always
years.
get it, don't they? I mean, you look at Phil Collins, his back and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So that's really, really frightening. That is, that you know, the old warhorse who's played these songs for so long has reached the stage where he needs a second drummer, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe they thought two drummers. I don't know.
Well, if Nick Mason needs a second drummer,
Yeah, of course he needs a drummer, so he can go like he does. And yet, that doesn't happen with Magma. The only sign of any slowing down, he looks completely different, doesn't he? Like an old man, but there's a fan on him at the concert. That's the only thing. And apart from that, he's amazing, man. And that leads us on to next week, actually, because next week is Attack, which is great. It's 4 eggs.
yeah, I was going to say 4 eggs.
Because it's an interesting program from the 70s, not a Magma
Epic
thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. See you next week.